Hi, I'm Casey Vileta, and welcome to Sports Recap. On today's show, we'll recap the boys' varsity basketball team's historic run. Later in the show, I will interview head coach Tom McCluskey to discuss the magical year. The Bulldogs ended the season 28-4 overall and had a perfect 12-0 record in conference. This broke the 90-year-old school record of 25 wins in a season, set in 1925-26. To open the season, the boys took first place in the Bill Vandermark Thanksgiving Classic and went on to a 15-game winning streak. They also took second place in the Jack Tosh Holiday Classic. The Bulldogs ended the regular season with their 14th consecutive conference championship. The Bulldogs won their 7th regional championship in school history after defeating Oak Park, and 4th under Coach Tom McCluskey since becoming head coach in 2001. During the regional semifinal against Lindblom, Coach McCluskey won his 400th career game. The Bulldogs won their first sectional championship in school history after defeating Morden in front of a sold-out crowd at Morden, moving them on to the Class 4A Elite Eight. The Bulldogs ended their season losing to state champion Stevenson High School. So let's go back to March 17th. When the Bulldogs were on the way to the Elite Eight Championship Series at Chicago State University. We tagged along in the bus, and reporters Andrew Polufsky and Nathan Prez filed this fan interview report.
We're here at the RBHS State Super Sectional with
Anthony Landahl.
And Anthony, how are you reacting so far to this great experience?
Well, I got here early and it was deserted and there was no atmosphere, but we have a huge student section. Everyone looks really pumped up. It looks a lot better than that Stevenson section. Very excited to see what goes down here today.
So do you think that school spirit has gone up in the last 24 hours?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, I think everyone's coming out here not only as basketball fans, but just as RB fans.
All right. And who on the team are you rooting for the most, or is it just the whole team in general?
The whole team, but I'm looking at that Sam Johnson. Great defense. I hope he can play some great defense, get some rebounds too.
Okay, well, thank you, Anthony, for allowing us to get this interview from you.
No, thank you.
Here we are with Brian, and what has been your favorite part so far of today, getting prepared for the game?
Getting these just seeing how big the 6-man is right now. It's awesome. Look at that 6-man. They're not even compared to us, so I'm ready for that.
All right. And how have you been showing your school spirit so far today?
The face paint one, showing about all blue and white. You see it's getting loud. Already. I'm really excited for this game. Just showing, yeah.
All right. And who would you say you're rooting for the most on this team?
Well, I like everybody on the team, but definitely Sam Johnson. He good shooter for our team, big points. So him and Nico, our point guard, because I know he got a tough game tonight. So definitely.
All right, thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Here we are with Junior Nedia, and how are you today?
Pretty good. So psyched.
And what are you wearing today?
Only the best.
So you're, another RBHS athlete?
Yes, I am. Currently, yes.
So you really understand how to help this team get ready?
Oh, definitely. The more the merrier, always.
And what would you say would get them the most pepped up right now?
Just so much cheering and just eruption from the crowd would be great.
Okay, and so how was your bus ride over here and preparing all this RBHS attire?
It was pretty hard to put on. It took some time, but the ride was definitely eventful, and we all talked, and we were singing the fight song and everything.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
We're here with
Ryan Jackson.
And from what I understand, you're a former RB basketball player?
Yes, sir.
And how do you feel about this historical moment right now?
I feel pretty good about it. I think that the kids have a great opportunity in front of them, and hope that they make the most of it and take advantage of it.
All right. And how has your college experience been so far?
My college experience has been great. It's almost over with. I'm graduating soon, and I think it's been a good enjoyment. I think it has a lot to do with all the things that I learned from RB.
Okay, and if you can give any piece of advice to the players down there, what would you give them?
Just play hard and enjoy this moment.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
As you can see, the sixth man was really fired up for this game. Now let's go back to Chicago State for some highlights. Sam Johnson was the leading scorer and rebounder for the Bulldogs with 10 points and 14 rebounds. Danico Jackson led the team with 3 assists. Mark Smith, Jalen Clanton, and Henry Trellenberg each added 8 points. The Bulldogs were down 20-4 after one quarter and didn't get any closer than 16 points in the second half. Villanova recruit Jalen Brunson scored 13 points for Stevenson. During the season, many milestones were reached. Coach McCluskey was named Illinois Basketball Coaches Association District Coach of the Year. Jalen Clanton, Danico Jackson, Mark Smith, and Sam Johnson were named All-Conference players, with Johnson being named Conference MVP. Johnson also broke Tom Conley's 1962-63 single-season rebounding record of 382 by pulling down 390 rebounds for the season. The Bulldogs will say goodbye to seniors Sam Johnson, Kevin Fitzgerald, Ryan Hanley, Paul Sikowitz, and Jake Lucas as they are graduating. Stay with us, sports fans. When we return, we'll interview head coach Tom McCluskey and discuss the historic run. Welcome back to Sports Recap. Joining me on this segment is Coach Tom McCluskey, head coach of the boys varsity basketball team. Thank you for being on my show, Mr. McCluskey.
Thank you for having me.
And before I talk about the season, congratulations on the historic season.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun. It was a great season, and it was quite a ride to be on, and it was a lot of fun.
That's amazing. So, who are some key players offensively and defensively heading into the season?
Sam Johnson had a real good junior year, and going into summer of senior year, he had a really good summer, but he had an amazing season this year. He was a great leader. He was a great teammate. His rebounding was unbelievable. He broke Tom Conley's single-season record that I thought would never be broken. He had 390 rebounds, and he had games where he had 20-some rebounds. And, I always tell people if a player has 3 or 4 double-doubles in their career, that's a tremendous accomplishment. Sam had 24 this year, so he was huge. Danico Jackson also had a great junior year, and he's a tremendous competitor. He loves basketball, has a strong passion for the game, and he's very unselfish. And he had a great year. His assist-to-turnover ratio was over 2-to-1, and he loved fourth quarters. Always played his best basketball in the fourth quarter, and had a great year for us. Jalen Clanton had a outstanding sophomore year, first year on the varsity, and had a great year for us. Henry Trellenberg, I didn't even know if he'd be on the varsity till summer, and then it became a quick no-brainer that he was going to be on the varsity. He also was a great player this year and very versatile. Mark Smith had a big year for us, shot 63%, did good job defensively, rebounding. Paul Sikowitz came off the bench and had a really strong year for us. He had some big games. I know he had a stretch in the Curry game in the sectionals that was huge, and did a great job. Kevin Fitzgerald was a great shooter, had a great toughness, and contributed heavily to the team. And Ryan Hanley, also a senior that whatever his role was, he welcomed it and made great contributions on the season this year.
Yeah. And so I'm going to ask you, what do you remember about the LT game?
The LT game's a huge rivalry. We're friends with the coaches and the players, but it's a neighborhood rivalry, and it's always high intensity. And to go over there this year, and we were early in the season, and we have only one senior in our starting lineup, and they have Harrison Niego, who's a Division I player, a great player, and his brother, and they had a really good team this year, and we fought hard, and somehow we came away with a 2-point victory, and came down to the wire, and made some plays, and it was a big win. Earlier in Thanksgiving, we played a very talented Oak Park team in the championship, and I think that was a great win as well, because it was so early in the year and put us at 4-0, and to beat a quality team with a quality player like Dallas Flowers gave our team a big boost mentally.
I'm gonna say I was in the sixth man for that LT game, and it was quite a sight to see Jalen.
It always is. It always is. Danico, in a very close game, made a tremendous pass to Jalen Clanton in the corner, and Jalen knocked it down, and it became a big thing on Twitter and social media, and it was just a great win.
I'm going to say towards the end of the regular season, you had that tough game against St. Charles East. Was that almost a wake-up call to the team?
I wouldn't really call it a wake-up call at all. It's definitely our philosophy that the last week of the season, right before you go into the state tournament, you find really two tremendous opponents to get you battle-tested for the state tournament, because every game's tough there. So we got St. Ignatius, and they won the Catholic League Conference champs, and they're a ranked team, and we had a great game against them. Henry Trellenberg had 20 points, and it was a huge win. And then St. Charles, they had a tremendous player, Cole Gentry, and their whole team just had it clicking. They were hitting threes like layups, and it wasn't a surprise. It was, they just played well, and it did what we wanted it to, got us ready for the state tournament.
We're going to talk about that historic run. When we can return to Sports Recap, we will discuss the Bulldogs playoffs. Welcome back to Sports Recap. Joining me is head varsity basketball coach Tom McCluskey, and we're going to discuss the Bulldogs playoff run. So you guys won some early games, pretty dominant. You beat Lindblom 77-40, and beat OPRF 67-61. Did that boost some confidence heading into some tougher games? Yeah,
it did. The Lindblom game scared me. They had a very athletic team, and they had some impressive regular season games where they played some ranked teams tough, and we just got off to a great start and scored a lot of points, and it was one of those days where everything was clicking. So, you take every game is survive and advance in the state tournament. The state tournament is a beast, and then heading into Oak Park, it's tough to beat a team like that twice in the same season. And they had a great month of February. They had a lot of big wins, and they were not shooting the ball well in the first half, and we got a lead, and then we had a rough stretch in the second half where we let them back in the game, and we hung on and won by 5, I believe, 62-57, I think it was. And anytime you win a regional championship, it's a great accomplishment, especially when you belong to our sectional, which is, a lot of experts considered ours the deepest sectional in the whole state of Illinois. And we're one of the smallest 4A schools with 1,503 kids. And so to win a regional is a great accomplishment. So it was a fun night.
Now, you guys beat Curry 83-73, but the game I think we all want to hear about is the game against Morton.
Yeah, but I think the Curry game was just a great accomplishment. We always tell our players that points are going to be less in the state tournament, so for us to score 82 against a team of that caliber, we were just playing really well. Our passing was really good that night, so that led into the Morton game, and Morton's a very, very good team. They have a player going to Harvard. They have a lot of athleticism. And, to play in front of that crowd, it's one of the most amazing environments I've ever been a part of as far as a high school basketball game. It was sold out. They turned people away.
Yeah, they're blackout.
And it was just so loud that the players couldn't hear the coaches at any time. The players sometimes on the court couldn't even hear each other. It was just crazy. And, in a situation like that, it comes down to fourth quarter, players make plays. And Danico made plays, and Sam made plays. A lot of guys contributed, Jalen and everybody. And fortunately, we hung on and won. And, it was a great accomplishment.
Yeah, I think that my side of the year that I've seen from the basketball team is you going and cutting down the net with confetti cannons blowing everywhere, and it was just
Yeah, that was a
sight.
nice touch. Dr. Skinkis used to work at Morton, and they organized that in case they won. But you know, since he was friends, and they offered that to us, the confetti, and he was back there firing it, and it was just a fun celebration.
And that first sectional win in school history was just icing on the cake.
Correct.
Yeah. And so I'm going to ask you a little bit about the Stevenson game, tough game against Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, you know, he's considered one of the best guards in the whole country. You know, he was sought after by many, many schools. He chose Villanova, but he's just a great player. But it's not just him. Connor Cashaw is a great player. Smith is a great player. Nichols is a great player. And you know, we got off to a poor start. I wish we could have our first quarter to do over, but that's not how it works. But we played them pretty equal in the second half. And, you know, we lost by 17, and that's when they went downstate, they won by 20 and 17. So, you know, they're a great team.
Yeah. But, again, it was an amazing season. First in time school history with the sectional, and congratulations on that. And right now we're going to take a short break, and when we return, we're going to discuss player projections and team projections for next season's team. Welcome back to Sports Recap. With me on this segment is head varsity basketball coach Tom McCluskey. And before we talk about next season's team, what do you think everyone will remember about this season's team in the future years?
I think people will remember how much fun of a run is. You know, I always try to include everybody in our basketball program, and it was really exciting to see so many people in the community, and with High School Cube, people all over the country, actually all over the world. Sean McGonigal played here and watched it on his computer in Germany, and so many people got caught up in the whole run that we had, and it was just so much fun. So I think people remember how much fun it was. And a team to win 28 games, only lose 4 games, and those 4 losses were to all great teams. I think it's just a remarkable accomplishment by this last year's team.
And I think they'll remember the heart and soul and the strive to never give up, even when, you know, we were winning by a ton of points. You just not gonna ever stop battling. So, who are some key returners going to be for next year's team?
Well, I always say that never take anything for granted, because you don't know what's around that corner. And there's always, every single year, it never fails. There's always surprises. Some people step up that you didn't think will, and so all the players got to continue to work really hard. And we have a very busy June, I should say, where we play a lot of games. In our philosophy, we play the toughest schedule we can possibly come up with, because it makes you better. And you know, right now, obviously, Danico's had a tremendous career, Danico Jackson, and he wants it real bad. He works really hard and has a passion for the game. So we're hoping that he has just a great senior year. Jalen and Henry got a lot of experience this year, and Mark Smith did a great job as well. There's a lot of other guys that are very good players, and we'll just see how it works out. But it does start with our shootout in June, and that's when we start rolling.
Are there any freshmen or sophomore coming up?
You know, we have Ryan Cecinas has an opportunity to play with the varsity in the summer. If it looks like he'll play, he'll be moved up. If it doesn't, he won't. That's how we did it with Danico. That's how we did it with Henry, and they both established themselves during the summer, and it was kind of a no-brainer.
Now, as a coach, you're looking for improvement for the team. So what aspects of the game do you think your team needs to improve on for next year?
Definitely the biggest thing that needs to be filled is Sam Johnson's rebounds, because rebounding is so big, and he had such a sensational year rebounding. It's going to be almost impossible to replace what he did, but that area, rebounding, is going to be so big, and Mark's got to work at it, you know, Henry, other people, and, you know, because we got to get rebounds.
And you're losing your corner man, Kevin Fitzgerald, and Ryan Hanley. He also shot some threes. So
Right.
do you need to work on any shooting from the outside now?
Yeah, we have guys that can shoot it. I think we're going to be an excellent shooting team next year. And again, as I said, the biggest question mark is rebounding.
Well, what hopes do you have for next year's team, and what do you predict might happen?
We have similar goals each year. We want to win a holiday tournament. Last year we won our Thanksgiving tournament, and I was really proud. We went to York, a 32 team, mostly large schools, and we finished second. And so we want to win a tournament. Conference, everybody's always gunning for us. It's never as easy as people think. And then you get to the state tournament and take one game at a time, survive in advance, and a run like last year would be an awful lot of fun.
Well, thank you for being on my show, Mr. McCluskey. I'll say it's always fun to watch basketball under your head coach. Every season, this season was amazing, and next year will probably, I can say, be really good too.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching Sports Recap. I'm your host, Casey Vileta. Keep on watching sports.